Hey everybody, how you
So
doing?
Tavian's synth decided to change pitch
Yeah, as it was
right there at
fading
the
out, it
end.
was also going boo, boo, boo,
Beach
boo,
Bummin'
boo.
Mermaid with a big 100. Thank
Oh,
you
thank
kindly.
you.
And thank you very much for the subscription.
Yeah.
Super, super helpful. God bless you. We are in great need. And so it's
Yeah.
very, very timely. So, why did we miss last week? The
Yeah, we
abridged
missed last
version.
week, folks. I'm sorry for those who. Oh well, let's get intros out of the way,
Yeah,
folks.
right on.
Thank you so much for coming. Hope you enjoyed that one. That was called Better Times. We're Atomic Annie. I'm Tavian. I'm handling all of this stuff. That's Mal
The
over there on
spaceship.
guitar, filling in all the other space.
Strings.
And yeah, we're here most every Thursday night. Occasionally we have to miss, and last week was one of those occasions. I was dealing with TMJ all last week, and for those who don't know what it feels like someone is driving an ice pick through your tooth into the bottom of your eyeball. But every tooth at the same time. Um, and
Poor Tavian.
so yeah, so it took me down last week, but I'm back this week, and I just had my dental appointment, and I can get it fixed for about $35,000. So yeah, so oh, and my wife's in the hospital.
Yeah, on top of all that. That's brutal,
So
man.
it's been a tough week,
Poor
but
guy.
I'm here anyway, all for you.
Pray
So
for this guy.
we hope you enjoy the show,
Shit's rough.
folks. Trying to stay in good spirits.
Indeed.
Everything seems to be going pretty good here on the stream anyway. So knock on this finely crafted wood tabletop that Mal made for me.
That's a laminate, but it is finally crafted
Yes.
because it was crafted by me.
Yes.
yes,
And he's making guitars. Nice segue.
yes,
He
I
is
am. But
crafting
that I was not.
custom
I was not.
guitars.
Yeah, just been busting my butt. Earlier in Atomic Annie backstage chat there on
There we go.
Telegram. By the way, if anybody ever actually wants to get into that and you are one of the peoples that actually watches this, just email me at mal.atomicannie@protonmail.com. Or, yep. And I'll let you in. Otherwise, like, there's lots of spammers and weirdness. But I posted a picture of myself in my new shop apron that my mama was very, very kind to give me. Very sweet, very encouraging. And so I was, wearing it, looking all chainsaw or massacre kind of thing, Not really, but that's what the wife said anyway.
Yeah, kinda. Now that I think about it, yeah,
Yeah, the
yeah.
apron and the no smile, and see, so Winston, the Winstonia Smith, who gave up, Mr. Winstonia said, post a body shot, and so I called him a word, and then I put a word that you can't say, for maybe liking me in a way that makes me uncomfortable. But I think he was actually asking for a picture
of a guitar body.
of a guitar body because he knows I'm working on guitar bodies. Cut a bunch of blanks, and so now I kind of feel bad for calling him.
He's still waiting for that body shot.
The GHEY. Right?
Yes.
So there's the tale of how I called Winstonius a nerdy word. Sweet. Thank you, Beach Bum and Mermaid. She just
Boy, I'm
did
purple
another
tonight.
subscription. It's very kind of you. Much, much, much appreciated. Charlie Studio says, Batmal. Yeah, wearing my
Oh yeah,
shirt.
wearing his Batman shirt.
Most people don't even notice. Hey, Hugh, thank you kindly, dude. Much appreciated for the tip. Very sweet.
But yeah, folks. Sorry, I was reading some chats there. We are back this week with another show. We've got the next tune coming up. It's called Blackout, and then the third tune for the night is brand new. Put it together a couple weeks ago for last week's show and didn't get to play it, so it's a lot of fun though. But if you like what you hear, please subscribe to the channel, like the video, share the links with your friends. It all really does help us out. Leave a comment. Engagement is key on all these platforms. Just say hi, let us know where you came from. Yeah, just like that. Cute little Pepe going like this. And it really helps us out. And if you're, really wanting to pitch in, you can go to streamlabs.com/atomicanniemusic/tip and throw us whatever you feel like throwing us there, and you'll get a little thing pop up on the screen letting us know you did it. So that's pretty cool.
Yep.
And that's that. We're also available on Bandcamp at what is that? AtomicAnnieRock.bandcamp.com. Yeah, that's
Pretty
it.
sure, yeah.
Yeah, I just now see it up there. And from there, you can buy all the finished product. Yeah, when we do these long form jams, oh my goodness, Zortan. Thank you so very much, Zortan.
Brother, thank man.
For that.
Very kind.
Says, awesome, Atomic Annie. Thank you. Thank you, man. That's helpful. We do appreciate that. Wow. Thank you. I can't say it enough.
Yeah. Very kind, brother. Very kind.
Threw me off there. I can't even remember where I was. I think that's a good sign that we move on to Blackout now.
You were saying that we do a multi-track.
Oh, right. We do multi-track recordings of all these long-form jams, and then Mal will take those and condense them down to a 5 to 7 minute track and mix it real well and master it and all that. And then that goes up onto Bandcamp with a title, which is cool. And all of that's for purchase up there, just $1 a song. So if you hear something you like tonight, if you liked Better Times, it's out there, isn't it? It's Better Times been released?
Yeah, Better Times been
Blackout
released.
has not yet.
Yeah.
Blackout hasn't been mixed yet. But,
No, I really want to, though.
Yeah.
So I've just been...
This is actually the second time we've played Blackout since the first night that we created it.
Right.
Just because it's so fun. It's one of my favorites that we've done in a while, and so I like playing it.
Yeah, it's cool, man.
Yeah.
I as a fan of it. Tavian actually named that one. My name was like 5 words long. It's like some kind of emo song name business. He was like, "Why not call it Blackout?" I'm like, "That's a far better name, bro." So,
Ghost Pepper says, "Hey, I got a promotion idea. It's a long shot, but we're gonna do it live." Okay, man. Whatever you got.
Need to talk to you about what Ghost Pepper's been talking about. There's a comic book, or I did talk to you about this comic book channel, right?
Sweet. Okay.
And wants to have us on and shoot the shit.
Yeah.
On their channel.
That'd
Happy
be
to do it.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Called Madness, I believe.
Yeah.
Yet to swing by because 70 hours a week, and you guys heard Tavian's story earlier. We'll get to it all.
Yeah,
Promises.
we will. Interesting about being on a comic show, considering that room up front.
Huh? Considering what?
That room up front.
Oh yeah, well we might talk to him about
might just talk about it.
Yeah. We got a metric shit ton of comics.
Yeah.
Not really we. Tavian has a metric shit ton of comics.
A couple years ago, a buddy
just
of
read
mine
'em like
passed
crazy.
away who had a sizable comic book collection,
Mm-hmm.
going way back to Silver Age stuff. And when he passed away, I volunteered because it went to his sister, and I didn't want it to go for like $500 for the whole collection at a estate sale. And so I took on the job of trying to find a way to sell it for better money. And I've never figured out a way yet. So maybe that would be a good way to say, oh, by the way, I've got a lot of comics for sale.
I know it's a lot because I helped move the things.
It's
brutal.
20,000 individual comics is not an understatement.
Yeah, it was hard work.
Yeah.
Very hard work.
All bagged and boarded and boxed.
Yup. All right, let's get on with this.
Get on with Blackout here, folks. We're going to play this one, and then we'll come back and read some more of y'all's chat. We really appreciate you.
Yep.
All right, it's all loaded up. All right, cool. Hey, everybody. That was Blackout. I really enjoyed that one.
Yeah, that was fun. Hey, thank you
There we
kindly for
go.
the tip there, Miss Scarlet Bee.
Yes, thank you.
Bless
Much
you, girlie.
appreciated.
Good to see you. Good to see all y'all. And awesome possum, man. It's been a good night, bro.
Ghost Pepper says slap in every sound possible. I dig it.
Yeah, I'm trying to do something a little different, a little more funk in my bones over here. It's going squaggly waggly, even. That's how it goes. In case you didn't know.
Save that.
Glad you liked it. Glad you like it. Cheers, indeed.
Awesome. Yeah, we're right on schedule. We've got one more to do.
Catch up, camera. There you go. Obsbot. It's an obsbot.
That made me thirsty. Ooh, I need to set up a couple of things. Entertain them, Mal. Entertain them while I set up.
Well, apparently I did entertain Mr. Winstonius. He's LOLing at me. Ghost Pepper says, I like funk bones. It would be so weird and off-putting and random if it wasn't perfectly in context and everyone understood it. Nice Kramer gif there, Beach Bum and Mermaid. That's funny. Glug glug goes to Kramer. By the way, if people don't keep their doors locked, and like you're a good friend or family, I'll just straight up walk in and start talking. I've been doing it since I was a kid. Like half the time I remember, hey, that's rude. Don't do that. That's weird. This isn't like the country way back when you were a kid. But I will just straight up do that.
Just walk into a house?
Oh, yeah.
I used to do it to you all the time.
Yeah, well, I told you to. I told you to because it's expected and fine. Why are you looking at my shoes, Obsbot?
Yeah, it just gave up on life. Oh, it came back. It got tired. Now I'm back.
What you doing, buddy?
It saw the thing go by that said show feet.
Seriously?
No, there wasn't one. I just remember it from way back when. Little Pepe holding up a sign that says show feet.
Oh, yeah, that killed you, man. Yeah. I remember when that popped up, Tavian goes, the person that made that probably did not do it
for this show.
Ironically. It was probably unironic.
It was probably not for a show with two guys playing music. It probably wasn't the kind of show it was built for.
Oh, that's funny. All right.
I love
that
70s show. Yeah, there it is. I love the 70s show memes too up there.
Yeah, those are great.
In the circle. That's always greatness.
Daphne, I will not send you pictures of my feet. Stop asking. I'm joking. She would never do such a thing. I hope she laughs.
Well, I think I have everything loaded for this, Mal.
All right, yeah, that's a brand new one.
Yeah, this one's brand new. Doesn't have a title yet. We've only really just kind of picked and plucked at it.
Beach Bum Mermaid
put it
says,
together
hard
2
pass.
weeks ago.
No.
Yeah, I guess we should do the plugs real quick, just in the intermission plugs here. We are Atomic Annie. If you just happen to join and don't know what you're seeing, it's the two of us. That's Mal on guitar. I'm Chaoctavian, or just Tavian, here on all the electronica and mixing and production and all that. And we are live. Lots of pre-recorded stuff, but it's a lot of just bare bones stuff, and we're improvising on top of it. We don't really rehearse in the conventional sense. We just build the bones and then come up with stuff to play over it for you guys. So we're here every Thursday. If you like it, please subscribe to the channel, like the video, share out the links on all the social medias. It really helps us out. Leave us a comment. The engagement helps us out. And if by the end of the night you want to support what we're doing to help us grow, and right now put in a little bit of the medical fund, you can leave us a tip over at streamlabs.com/atomicanniemusic/tip, and that puts it right on the screen. or you can go to atomicantirock.bandcamp.com to purchase our finished music. And then we also have a, what's the other one I'm forgetting? Can't think of it offhand.
I was reading the chart. I wasn't paying attention.
Anyway, and then a couple of the platforms we're on actually offer tipping built into the platform. So yeah, whatever you feel like and can do, it'll be greatly appreciated right now. So, and yeah, we've got this third one to do, and then we'll come back and say goodnight. You ready to go, Mal? You remember the little thing that you thought of at the last minute?
Oh yeah. Nope.
It's like literally at 8. What was it? 8:53.
I'm glad you said something, man.
Something like that at 8:53. It's like, I want to put something over the intro.
Yeah.
Like, okay, bro.
Yeah. All right, let's do this business.
All right, yeah,
I got
sounds
it
great. Getting there. Give me a second. And that's the show.
I hope we put on a good show for you guys. You've been more than generous with us this week, and we are mighty grateful.
Thank you for coming back
Indeed.
after we missed a week last week. And I do have to say there's a chance that we have to do another replay show next week. Not sure how long my wife's going to be in the hospital.
Yeah.
So it may be that I need to go down there to see her again or potentially bring her home, which is what I'm hoping. Or actually, I'm hoping she comes home sooner and then it's nothing to worry about. But we'll see. Anyhow, folks, we're Atomic Annie. That's Mal. I'm Tavian. We'll be back next Thursday, either live or Mal will do a replay show, one of the two.
Yep.
And if you, once again, if you liked it, please subscribe to the channel. Send the links out to everybody and leave us a comment. And any kind of dollar you might want to drop in whatever bucket is available, that would be most appreciated. So yeah. In the meantime, we will see y'all next week. Y'all have a great weekend. Hug your family. We love y'all. Take care of yourselves.
Pilled people, stick around for after. There we go.
Oh, cool. Yeah. So good night, folks. Love you.